Hello twin flames, this is Victoria and I'm here with your daily energy check. Welcome to my channel and welcome to your daily update on what's going on with the twin collective, where are we headed, what's 4011 and stuff like that. Today I'm gonna do a quick check-in regarding two questions. First, so it's a little bit different from our usual format. First will be around the karmic movements for each of the twins, so meaning dealing with karmic situations, solving any kind of blockers or tying up loose ends. Can be connected with the karmic partners, can be something else. As you know, karmic situations go far beyond relationships and partnerships, so it could be connected with a job, with settling some legal questions or financial troubles, all kinds of things really, right? Maybe even health issues or lifestyle choices. Could be connected with addictions, of course. And as much as in our society we're still not as open about those topics, and a lot of times when people hear addictions, they immediately start thinking about heavy drugs or at least alcohol or smoking, but it actually goes far beyond that. There are all kinds of mental conditions and states, deviations from the so-called norm that could be treated as addictions, and I would say that pretty much all of us have them to a certain extent. It's just that they impact our lives in a different way. Of course, they manifest themselves differently, right? All the spectrum of OCD, and what is it that we are tied to, what kind of coping mechanism, how a nervous system chooses to deal with difficult situations, or when we get a lot of anxiety or stress or panic attack. So all of those are included in karmic situations and karmic handling karmic issues. Just saying, because yes, you can deal with any and all of those. It just takes different amount of effort, of course, in each specific case. Okay, I will start with an oracle card. This is gonna be the Spirit Junkie Oracle. I thought that today. Oh, and the second question will be about the actions that twins taken towards this connection, towards union, to apart. So any kind of solving karmic issues, of course, brings you back to union by definition, right? It raises your vibration, it removes the burdens, it gets you closer. But this is the second question is going to be about more conscious action towards the connection. And we'll, if we have time, we'll get messages between the twins. Let's see how it goes. Yeah, we'll start with the affirmations from the Spirit Junkie deck by Gabby Bernstein. I just realized now that I'm shuffling and I actually lost my cards that my dress actually kind of overlaps with the background a lot. But I mean, there's something in it, right? And it's got all these colors, which you also have here. It's funny. It's the Little Prince theme from Tory Burch collection. And yeah, I guess it also matches like the whole astrological, astronomical, spatial theme that we have on my backdrop. Anyways, I'll give it another shuffle because I don't like that I got so many cards out. So just give us a card for Divine Feminine. What should we focus on right now? What is important to remind ourselves? And immediately I get two cards. So one of them is, let me be still today and listen to the truth in silence. So a reminder how important your meditation, your praying practice is. Whatever it is that you do for your wellness, for your mindfulness, maybe just add a tad more mindfulness to it, awareness, right? Listen carefully. Creativity flows from me. I'm a divine creator. Divine creator. Truly, twin flames are all divine creators, on like next level creators. We have so much potential in terms of the amount of energy that we have, and also the quality, the meaning, the nuances, right? So it's very important to give freedom of expression to that creative genius that we have inside of us. And see what we have for divine masculines. And for example, if you take New York here, it's pretty rainy and gloomy these days. It was like that yesterday, today, and I think tomorrow as well. So you can imagine that it kind of brings you down by default because everything's gray, it's wet, you can't really go outside because it keeps raining all day long. So it's even more important to spruce your energy up with something from within, from your own creative genius, right? That's the essence of making a difference. For the masculines, we have a card about breathing. I breathe calmly and easily. I'm safe in this moment. Very much a root chakra vibration. So yeah, divine masculines, remember breathing techniques when grounding yourselves today, when finding your zen, when being pulled to make hasty decisions or wanting to make an emotional impulsive decision, right? Take a breather, literally, before you respond and see how different that would be. Okay, let's get to tarot. So I'll use actually both decks for, I got the Grand Lux Tarot and the Rider-Waite. So I'll do both decks, the main card and clarification for each of my questions. So, and I'll get the cards out first, I think. So for the feminines, what karmic questions are being solved right now? What karmic situations are the feminines looking at and working towards resolution? Okay, 5 of Wands. And 6 of Cups. Okay, for the masculines, please give us the same karmic situations. And okay, the strength. It kind of was on the side, so I'll remember that. Anything else? Okay, we'll get clarifications. And then the other set of questions was about actions towards the connection. What action is divine feminine taken? Justice. I love this. And for masculines, 4 of Coins. Okay, saving resources. That's lovely, actually. King of Wands at the bottom of the deck. Beautiful. Okay, let's get clarifiers. Clarify 5 of Wands and 6 of Cups for the feminines, please, for the karmic situations. 3 of Wands. Okay, let's clarify the strengths for the masculines. 9 of Swords. Yep. Let's clarify the Justice card for the feminines. Around taking action towards the connection. And yes, I will start, I mentioned it yesterday, I will start doing my July forecast by element for twin flames specifically, so I'll start posting that. I don't know if I'll do that today or tomorrow, maybe tomorrow, but watch out for that. And you know, within this week I'll post them all for all the elements. I don't have time to do each sign separately because I also have to post my sign horoscopes on my other channel, but that's equally as good. I always look at love, career, and advice from the universe and messages from a person, so you're welcome to check out those. Okay, we got 8 of Wands here. Please clarify 4 of Coins for the masculine. 7 of Pentacles in reverse. Gotcha. Bottom of the deck, the Hierophant. Another great energy. Actually, there is a certain connection in the vibe here between the King of Wands and the Hierophant. They're both the wise leader. You can even see like this element looks like a wand that Hierophant is holding, right? It's that kind of like leader versus manager kind of idea, right? Like a servant leader, like people love me, they know that I've got this wisdom, I've got this sacred knowledge, right? Like embracing that. And I feel like it's very important to embrace that as light workers, as twins, even though sometimes it may go into the ego category, right? And some people are afraid that it's gonna go too far and it's not gonna be like, it's gonna turn into being like showing off or being arrogant, right? Like looking down at people. But you know deep down that fine line between those, right? You can tell. And as long as your goal is pure, your goal is to share, to inspire, that's what should be driving it. I've had that dilemma, for years myself. But to me, it started a long time ago because I have a degree in teaching. So, and you can imagine when you were like 20, 22 years old, it's even a bigger dilemma to be that hierophant figure in front of the group, in front of the audience, right? To feel like you have something to say that will be new and where you can teach people without sounding arrogant and judgmental, right? Because that's the most pure way to pass that message along. We can talk about it in a moment, right? Where people will feel like it's a conversation of the equals, but they will be listening to you, they will be taking it in. It's an art of its own, for sure. So for Divine Feminines, we have Five of Wands and Six of Cups clarified by Three of Wands. So I immediately see that, Five of Wands is the ultimate karmic pattern, karmic ties card, right? It's a lot of people meddling in, it's being stretched too thin, right? And I'm getting that there's an overall dilemma on how to manage to combine like this loyalty to this big love, to this spiritual connection, and to the path, the twin flame path, essential, right? In this case, in this card, in this deck, it actually even revolves more around inner child and soul searching and finding the ultimate happiness, right? But that's like the twin flame path aspect of it, right? Versus like, this is what my inner child wants versus what other people want, right? And there is an understanding that that both are actually important, but like you can't disregard this part at all, right? What other people want, think, etc., right? We live in a 3D world. We're also social creatures, so we're still interacting with others, and that's key to our experience here on planet Earth. So there is apart from like running errands, and I'm getting trying to find a peaceful resolution in whatever it is, whatever seems to be like a fight that's bubbling up, that's almost out in the physical, right? How to not get to a point where there's going to be a physical confrontation sort of idea, right? So that's one aspect of it, but the bigger aspect is also like having an intention to be able to balance the life choices between the soul choice or the inner child source choice, whichever way you want to put it, and what the outside world expects of us. For the masculine, it's more of an ego struggle, and also the main karmic pattern is not to give in to the ego this time, right? So as opposed to the ultimate like outside influence, well, I mean, ego is connected to it, of course, but as opposed to the trigger being on the outside for the feminines, for the masculines, it's more like this desire to feed the ego, or the definition of success, or the definition of a masculine energy, right? But the strength card is the Leo energy. It is masculine energy, right? Like that masculinity in egoistic way versus, or to please the ego, versus masculinity and strength in a more of a spiritual way, in a divine masculine aspect of it, right? That search, that soul searching is causing some sleeplessness, is causing some concern, for some even crying or having panic attacks, like it's pretty intense actually. But that's part of that divine orchestration, to show divine masculines the difference between the two. And sometimes it's also a fine line, where it's self-love and recognition of that self, right, versus pleasing the ego, right, and finding strength in standing up for that soul language versus what others are expecting of you. And then in terms of the actions with the feminine, we have the Justice card, clarified by 8 of Wands. So there is a necessity to set the record straight with the connection with the divine masculine, or maybe with other people, but something that surrounds connection. For example, other people are talking you out of going for it, or of being loyal to your DM, because there's certain things that they don't know or don't understand, and DF wants to set the record straight, right, in a healthy, like, logical, balanced way. Or it's literally with the DM, right, like you can feel and you know that they are confused, or they have their fears, when it comes to this connection, and you understand that in part it's because they didn't understand something, or they don't have the information that is valuable in this case. So you can telepathically feel that, and in divine feminine, you are taking action to set the record straight, or at least to bring clarity, right? It's not always about the record. Thank you for correcting me, right? But it's bringing more clarity, more understanding into the situation, so that DM understands where you are coming from, or what are you looking for, or why or whether even you're still walking your walk towards this connection, whether it's still in your consciousness, whether it's still something that you want. And then for the masculines, the action is, I was talking about it a little at the beginning, saving for a rainy day, but it's much more than that. It's like creating abundance that will not depend on the stock market, or on a particular salary, right? It's something that almost like will be self-sustainable, something that's going to be reliable, that's not going to need a lot of strategy and planning, right? Something that will provide for you and the feminine. Like, that's the one of those, like, things that the masculines realize, that this part is to provide certain comfort to your life together. They know that with a power couple like yourselves, this is justified, and you need those resources to create a life in this material world that will allow you to continue to develop, to grow, and to share your message, your knowledge, your experience with others who need it, right? Whatever your common mission is, whatever your goals are to better in this world, you will need resources to provide for yourself, and to be in that. Remember, the card for the masculine was connected with safety. I'm safe in the moment. It's very important to have that safety, to be able to be free, to be creative, and to give of yourself. Okay, I will draw a couple of messages very quickly. Some messages, sorry, those fell out too soon. We're gonna shuffle a little bit more. Messages from divine masculines to divine feminines. All right, we have seek professional advice. I don't want to lose you, and I'm absolutely in love with you. Pretty straightforward. I would just add that for the professional advice, it's something that, so the masculines do not want to be the person who will decide how you build your life, how you resolve certain questions, how do you prioritize, right? They understand they're not expert in everything, and they don't want that kind of responsibility in a good way, right? Because it's almost like we are imposing too much of the responsibility on them if we want them to decide how things are going to develop further. So they're asking that if you feel like you don't have the expertise or the options that you need, right, it's best to turn to somebody who is a subject matter expert, at least to get their opinion, at least to get more information, rather than just rely on DM that they're gonna come in and save you, or they'll just know what to do, right? Sometimes we idealize our connection in that way. Okay, and from feminine to masculine. Okay, interesting. We have, you are wrong. I dream about you a lot too much, and wrongful advice. Right, so that's actually the part that I was just talking about, that there is something that DMs don't know or don't understand, or they don't interpret it correctly, right? And DF can see that it's causing a lot of extra distress, anxiety, and confusion, right? So that's why they want to make sure that there is more clarity there. It was possibly intensified by some advice that, or some extra input that DMs got on their side within their friend group or whoever they're talking to. But yeah, above that, there's a lot of this telepathic, and again, this says dream, right? So just mentioning the telepathic communication, there's a lot of that going on, and DF is appreciative of that, and looks like this is giving both of the twins at this time the necessary inspiration and energy and enthusiasm to keep going. Okay, I hope this has been good for you guys. Thank you so much for joining me today, and don't forget to like the video and leave a comment, and I'll talk to you very soon.